the Ordonez Method Podcast.
A show for young people by young people, where we dig deep on topics such as business, wealth creation, lifestyle, and more. Our main mission is to educate, inspire, and collaborate with like-minded individuals so we can build a better future.
Hosted by Camila and Adan Ordonez, illustrated by Oliver Rice.
Hey guys, today's podcast is a little bit different. Camila's not here. I wanted to have my dad hop on the show and talk a little bit about his experience in business and in life. He currently owns a real estate development company, which we're also part of, and within it we build hundreds of houses a year. We own millions of dollars in real estate, and it really couldn't have been done without him and my mom. They moved from Venezuela when we were almost 20 years ago now, but they came in their 30s and they really didn't have anything. And I think they have a great story. So I wanted him to hop on the show and talk a little bit about their journey and what they've been going through, or what they've been through in the past. And I think a lot of us can relate, not in that we have the same story as them, but everybody's gone through some kind of challenge. And I think when you're young, you think that you have the biggest challenges, and in reality, everybody has challenges, but it's good to hear other challenges that people have faced and have overcome. So I wanted to bring him on to talk about it. So I have a couple questions for you. How are you doing, first of all?
Doing pretty good. Thank you for sharing, and thank you for having the opportunity to share with you all some of our story and some of what we're doing right now. And always is a pleasure sharing.
Awesome. I think my first question is not a question. I just want you to share with our community is kind of take us through your story of how you and mom started. You guys do real estate development now, but it wasn't always that way, and we lived through a lot of it. So can you walk us and give us like a brief, overview of, what you were doing when you were younger, what you were doing 10 years ago versus what you're doing now, and talk about some of the struggles?
Yeah, like you, I started playing baseball. I didn't have the opportunities that you had, so my dream also was playing pro ball. I couldn't do it. I married too young, so I started playing softball. Then played as a professional. But so I graduated too young. I graduated when I was 21. So, and after you graduate, so I'm a mechanical engineer. So my family wanted that I get a job and go to the corporate business, and I went and I got hired from a big oil company, and I married like I was 21 too when I graduated too. So, and I went through the experience to have a job, the great job that all your parents want, that you be successful, and just start there pretty young, have the nice experience with your mom, actually, that helped us to grow, have a fast growing, because we were by ourselves, and having all that experience during that short age. But I didn't have any guidance at all, so we didn't have any mentor, and we didn't know that we needed. So that was a big difference. So when I was in the corporate, I want to escalate like everybody that is working. So I want to be the president of the company. It was a national company, and I want to be the president within 10 years. I said, well, I'm gonna do a career, make a career here. So then all the problem that we had in Venezuela, we have to immigrate here, and we just was looking for safety. So bring our kids, your sisters, to have a better education, but beside the education, safe, that we didn't have in our country. But when we came here, we had to do everything like an immigrant, so we couldn't keep the jobs as an engineer, as an accountant was your mom. So we have to do the hard work, do physical work that we were not used to, but we always have that discipline to work hard. We didn't have big expectation, big dreams that become here, financial freedom that everybody's doing, or become millionaire, whatever. So we hard worker. But we get an education. We start reading like when I was 33 years old, and I read preach that product, and it blew my mind. I said, well, all the education that I got doesn't work, or to the present. Maybe work in the past, but not right now. And it blew my mind and said, I gotta start building something. And that's what I found out, that real estate people were doing a lot of money in real estate, and why too many people were involved caught my attention. And that's when we start. I got the license, the real estate license, and didn't like the work as a realtor. And I saw that the side that caught my attention was the investment side, and have the asset, like the book said, you keep the assets. So that's a short story of how we start here. So we did too many physical work that we didn't like neither, but it was a kind of like that we had here in our process.
So let's take a little bit of a step back to when you guys first moved here. And you mentioned that you started reading, and that you guys didn't come here to be rich. You guys just came here for safety, but then you had like a shift, like a mindset shift. And I vividly remember that because you guys started acting different around the house. You guys weren't as stressed. Even though life was still stressful, you guys weren't as stressed. You guys were saying encouraging things instead of things that aren't encouraging. You guys were reading. You guys had more time. You guys weren't spending your free time bullshitting. You guys were using it productively. What made that shift happen? Can you talk a little bit about that?
I think it's fear, and I think that's the main thing that people make the move, when you feel fear. And I didn't want to come back to my country. I want that you have a different life, that my family have a different, economically we were not that good, financially we were struggling, and we said, okay, we need to do something different. We need to find a way, because it should be a way that you can make money with not that much work that we did physically, and we didn't have the result that we wanted. So that's what we started studying real estate, and we see the option that we could become financial freedom within some time. And we started investing the money that we didn't have, but going through the fear. And that's the problem with too many people, including us at the beginning, that is even though those fears that you have. So, and that allowed us to grow. But most important of that was the education, that self-education that we were getting, that pushed us to become a better person, better in what we do, and going through all the challenges that we had to go. But I think it's the mindset. If you go through the fear and you act, even though the fear, and you change your mindset, you can do everything. Like you said, there was a change in our mind, that positive change, that we didn't allow negative things come true. Even though that we have negative, so we were surrounded with negative things, like everybody's going through now. So political, financial, but even though all those situations, go through the fear. Nothing's going to happen if you don't go through that.
One of the things that I see, and that you talk about that to us a lot in private, is the difference between people in America that have everything and they grew up with a lot of opportunities, and immigrants. And so one of the things I notice is that a lot more immigrants are looking for opportunities to really get out of the rat race. I think when immigrants come here to this country, they're not coming here to have a corporate job. I think they're coming here to really build something. And I think that's kind of what happened to you guys, is you guys came here, you had no other options. You couldn't have a corporate job like everybody else. You couldn't be an influencer. You couldn't, you had to really build something from scratch. Why do you think that is? Why do you think immigrants are more geared towards starting businesses, and why do you think people that, were born here are not?
I think the same thing happened in all the countries. When we were there, where we're living in our country, we saw immigrants that do the same. And most of the business, 90% of the business were from people were immigrants that went through the years from hard work, and we were in our comfort zone. And it's the same thing. Most of the people here, American people, are on their comfort zone. And we do the work that they don't want to do, probably harder than them. It's not everybody, but it's most of the people here that they take the thing for granted, all the things that they have, the benefits that they have here for living here in this amazing country. So we didn't take that for granted. We came here to work hard, but so a small opportunity, and we're gonna take it. And that's what I wouldn't say most, the immigrants do, but the people that get education, trying to get that piece of opportunities and grow and go deep in that. And that's what we've been successful with the years, but it takes time, sacrifice that most of the people don't want to go through.
That's a good point. So for these young people, like my age or Camilla's age, even younger, what do you think is a good way to start for them? Like, is there a right way? There's something that you wish you would have done when you were younger that's different?
I would suggest everybody to go through self-education and get the discipline that you today have, that every single day you read something, listen to some podcast, go to a mentor, find the people that already have what you want to get. If you go through that way, you cut the time, but most important is that you pick who you surrounded with. I think that's the most important. That's what most of us do. So we are surrounded from not the right people to grow. You surrounded probably with good people that like you, that love you, but they don't want to go where you want to go. And when you try to go there, they're gonna pull you out. So my advice to young people is sacrifice those first years that at the long run is gonna be significant.
Yeah, significant.
Because we start late. We start like 33, but we start doing this like 40, 45, we start getting our first result. If you do that between 20 and 30, you have all that time where you already solved the main thing one of the main things that you gotta solve is the financial thing. So if you cover that, you don't have to work for surviving. You work for add values to something, or like you're doing now, that you have a bigger purpose. And that's the main thing. And also I learned from you that thing, that it's not work for money, it's work for a purpose. And that now I'm working on that. I'm trying to find more purposes to work with, because the financial side, thanks to God, that situation is already solved. It's not become millionaire. It's just that you don't worry about the money for surviving. The money is there, but now you work for something bigger than you.
I want to do a follow-up question to that, and I didn't have this plan. It kind of came to me. So today I'm in a group chat with a lot of my friends, my guy friends from high school and college, and somebody asked in that group chat and then a lot of them, they're doing different things. Some of them are in sales, some of them have their own business, some of them have a job. One of them, he said, when do you guys feel like you're properly compensated for your work? Like, how much money does it take for you, for you to feel like you're properly compensated? I'll give you my response, and then I'll ask yours. That way you can have some context. I told him that I feel like I'm fairly compensated when I can take care of my basic needs and when I have time for leisure. Because if I don't have time for leisure, then it's all work, then I'm not gonna find work enjoyable. I think a lot of people like when they go to work, they work so they can not work. But that sucks. That's not the purpose of it. I feel like the purpose of work is like do something that you love and so that you have purpose in, and be rewarded for it so you can do other things that you also like, but it kind of all works together. You're working, but when you're working you enjoy it, and when you're enjoying you're also you're also enjoying. So what do you think? Like, what amount of money to make you feel fairly compensated?
I think at the beginning, most of the people, including us, change our time for money, and that's what we learn. And honestly, most of the people don't enjoy what they do. When I work in a corporate, I like what I do, but I knew that wasn't mine. And some stuff I didn't like, and I had to do it. When I started working for myself, it was the same thing. Because people just said, okay, when I'm gonna do something different, I'm gonna do the things that I like. Mm-hmm. But in order to do the things that you like, you have to have some basic cover. And when you have those basic cover, you start enjoying what you do. But cover the basic first. And probably you're gonna do things that you don't like to do, but anyway, you gotta do it. And that's the difference about people that become successful and people that don't come successful. That they don't want to go through challenges, through stress, and sacrifices. But when you sacrifice something for some purpose of some goal that you got, bigger goals, or you focus on what you want and you fight for this and you achieve it, it's different thing. I go through different challenges every single day. Every single day is a journey. But even though all the challenges, struggling or whatever we go through, I enjoy what I do today. And I don't see the money now like I counted before. I'm not checking how much money I'm making. I put my goals, but I don't work in a daily basis because of the money. I work for the goals that I have that is gonna bring money.
So well said. That's a good point. Okay, I want to ask some some questions to wrap up. What do you want? Like, what's your purpose right now? Like, why are you still working? I mean, obviously the economy isn't the best that it can be right now, but how many properties do you own right now?
Probably like almost 300 doors.
Yeah, so 300 doors, and so those are all cash flowing. You know, there's some vacancy and whatnot. What is keeping you working? Because right now we're balls deep in 500 houses. Mm-hmm. So why are you building 500 houses when you already have 300 doors? And you know, you guys could be sipping on margaritas.
That's a good question. You can pick whatever, go and rest and travel or whatever. But I think the adrenaline that you have when you work, when you have some goal, and that's what you keep you alive. It's following something, because you can rest, but you get bored too.
Yeah.
You think and you dream of traveling, enjoying the life when you don't have that life, and you're surviving. But when you have that life, you want to go back and work for something bigger, because you know things different, and you know that how much those things go work, and you want to keep there, and you want to keep growing there and knowing more stuff. And when you see that you haven't done anything, when you compare with bigger people, the thing is that most of us compare with people that are in a worse situation than ours. But when you see other people that have achieved bigger things, you say, wow, it's too much to run, and you enjoy it. I can be on vacation all the year, so I can live out of the passive income today. But what moved me and what keep me alive is doing stuff. And I have you, and your sister that are pretty young, and I want to I have the opportunity to see you become successful, and I want to keep working next to you and see you're successful next to you in the following years. And I know that you're gonna become, I know your sisters are gonna become, because you getting the discipline, you doing the sacrifice that you gotta do right now. No wait for 10 more years.
That's one of the things that you were saying at the beginning, like you didn't have a mentor. So I think I speak for myself, Camilla, and Valen. Like you guys were mentors, you and your mom. Okay, so my last question before we get too emotional is, what's next? What are your goals the next 2, 3, 5 years? Like what are you looking to do? What do you what's your...
My goal is establish the operations. I learned something from you, or from the books that we've been reading in the last couple of years, and that I was not against with, but I didn't know, and I didn't learn that in a, like you learning now in at your age, is systemize the business and have a business and don't work for the business like I'm doing right now. Even though that I enjoy the business and I enjoy what I do, I discovered not something that is too old, but for me was a discovery that there are systems that I need to put in place to have different businesses. We have different businesses today, but we need to systemize them in order that they work for us. We have business producing, we can do more. One of my goals now is keep building more multi-families. In the next 5-10 years, I'm gonna change all my portfolio to multi-families and put them together and be more efficient and more profitable.
Yeah, there's more.
And have better returns that I got now. Even though that are good right now because that we have property from 10 years ago that are producing pretty good. But I want to consolidate them in a bigger stuff, and that's my next step. And diversify in different industries, that we have different source of income from different industries, because we now have only from real estate and other stuff that we've been working now, but that's the goal in the next years.
Awesome. Well, thank you very much for your time. I mean, we hear this all the time, but I'm glad that our community is able to hear it. We have a lot of young people here, so again, just thank you, and I hope you guys tune in. I hope you guys watch till the end. Thank you guys.
All right, thank you.